Oh, hey. Thanks for being here. Listen, before we jump into the show, I just wanted to share something that I'm super excited about. I'm going to be joining 25 other instructors on this year's online family retreat with the Milky Way. And if you're asking, what is the Milky Way? Listen to episode 20.1 with Lisa DeJaso. She is the founder of the Milky Way online family retreat. And this is where a whole bunch of educators get together and teach you everything they know about family photography. It is so cool. There's such a wide variety of folks on there. You're going to get so inspired. I've got a really awesome lesson that shows me behind the scenes doing a full documentary family session. And there are people who are there that will help you with posing. They will help you with styling and editing and crafting family films and so many other things. And the link is in the show notes. Everything you need to know is included on that link. And I just want to encourage you to get inspired before heading into this super wild photography season we've got ahead of us. And this is a surefire way to get those creative juices flowing and add some new perspectives into your work and to serve your clients better from the comfort of your couch. And you can do it at your own pace. It doesn't get much better than that, my friends. Link is in the show notes for the 2024 online family retreat. I hope you invest in yourself and in your creativity, because I promise whenever you do that, you will undoubtedly reap the rewards. And now, on to the show. All right, folks, I have a super cool guest. Is a photographer in the portrait sphere, but she is doing this in a way that I have never seen anyone. And like, she's photographing people all over the world from the comfort of her living room in San Francisco. That's all I'm going to say, because we're going to talk about it all through the podcast. The wonderful human I have with me today is Didi Von Boch.
Guten Morgen, Bobby.
Hello. Oh, I can't hear you.
Good morning. Let me turn my phone off. Is the light okay? Hello. Here we
Hi.
are. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Can you hear me well? Yeah.
I can hear you perfectly. Yes. It's so nice to see you.
Nice to see you again without bossing you around. You triggered me already again with your shirt. So nice.
Yes, you know what? I actually put it on for you because we didn't wear it in the session. So I was like, I'm gonna put this sweater on for Didi because she likes it.
That's it. Thank you so much.
So friends, I did a session with Didi. It was about 3 weeks ago now, about a month ago now.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna share with you. I was gonna say this in the introduction, but I want to say this directly to you, Didi. So I came across your work. I think Lorcan Doll.
Yeah. Yeah.
She posted about you, and I looked at your work and I was like, this is like nothing I've ever really seen before. Not only in like your aesthetic, but then when I learned how you were doing it, like your process, I was like, holy shit. This is really cool. And so, and I had this feeling, I'm like, I need to meet this woman. And I was like, I wonder, because your work isn't something that I'm super fascinated, but it's also like outside of my comfort zone. So when I saw, I was like, because I'm very much in a phase of my life where like I have to do things outside of my comfort zone.
Yeah, so and being like, alone in front of the camera is so much harder than having a dog or babies or whatever.
Totally. So that's why I reached out to you.
Okay.
And it was probably like, if not the best photographic experience I've ever had, it was top 2, like the way that so Didi, why don't you explain your process? Because that alone is fascinating.
Okay, this is one question, but like 2 hours. Can you go more precisely? I mean, I can, the whole process, or
well, I guess the whole process. Yes, that is a very complicated question.
Yeah.
Of how you do it. Just briefly explain, because that alone is interesting. I'm not sure if
so do you mean how in remote should work?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, because you're in San Francisco and you shoot people all over the world.
Exactly. Yeah. So how do you do that? So I'm using an app like called like Close app. There's another app like Shutter app. So these two are like, I think, on top of it. And the app allows me to, if I say log into another phone, people freak out. Log into, this is what I learned. The Germans like, what? Log in my phone, and then they like hang up. In America, it's easier, but no, log into their phone camera, their iPhone, and use their iPhone, even if I'm not with them in the room, you know.
Yeah.
And I remember in COVID 2020, I did did some pictures like called the window shot, where I drove around, photograph people, and then I saw people starting with these virtual shoots, and that's not my idea. Some people started, but I thought like, oh, this is cool, and then I started it. And I was completely hooked. I will never forget. It was the strongest pull I ever felt. But at this time, 2020, I didn't use. I said no, I'm not using a button. So I photographed like old school, but it was cool and I love them. But it wasn't. I wouldn't sell them. I would tell maybe one, but I can't sell it at a whole session because of a moire effect, and it's just like shitty. But the app allows you to use a phone, so you're not depend on the internet connection.
Right.
So you use their phone, meaning you can shoot raw, you can influence the picture and stuff like that. And then if they have an iPhone 13, 14, it has like 40 MB, it's huge. People don't understand either way what MB is. It doesn't fucking matter how big it is, if the light is shitty or the light is good. It all depends on the light. So I lost me already. You lost me. Did you lose me already? I lost myself.
No, you were saying.
So
go ahead.
Yeah. So so I can shoot you in Australia, or I know you're not in Australia, but without being there. Yeah.
Yeah. So did you know about this capability like before? Like, did you go searching for it, or like how did it come into your orbit that you even figured out that was possible?
So I saw I photographed like 2020 this, but used my camera, so the quality was shitty. But I saw like Liz Luca, which I love very, very much. I can send you later her Instagram. I saw she doing it, and I was like, wow, how is she getting this quality? So I didn't know about the app. And so the app, because you understand it, but you don't understand how you get the quality. The quality you get because you don't have to send the picture. It's not depend on the connection. So this is the key, I think, to now be able to really go into it and sell it. And, we're thinking about it 2 years, and I didn't, it wasn't the right timing. I didn't know. I was shy about trying something new stuff. I mean, I bought the Canon Mark IV, and it was like laying on my shelf for 4 years before I used it. So I needed a long time until I get somewhere. Yeah. But then, it's just like about timing and when it feels right to you. Yeah. So what was your question again?
Well, you answered my question, but I guess this leads to the question of like, it feels like I'm witnessing this artist in a huge shift in her career. Like it, and maybe like, tell me how it's going for you. Like, are things like possibilities completely opening up for you? Do you feel like you're really hitting your stride in terms of who you are as an artist, or how has this like changed your life? Has it?
It does, because I have like had already like 25 mentor sessions. I've just followed this strong desire to want to do that and want to be on top of it, like, not on top of everyone. That's not what I mean, on top of myself. I just want to, my goal was to make it the same good as if I were there, and that was my mainly goal. So I worked hard since 2 years. In the beginning, of course, like did free shoots, but I still do if I feel for it. I do whatever the fuck I want to do to bring and treat this as a new business, because it is kind of a new business for all of us. I know, and the more we are, the better, because I think like for now it's like between photographer and photographer, or between photographer and designer, and everybody I'm shooting right now is either photographer or really interested in the process. So it's a collaboration. And for all of us to make this bring to private person, it needs like, it's good. The more they do it, the more they understand, oh, this is possible, because it is. So I felt a super hardcore strong pull in the direction, because I am a dictator. I am a control freak. So for me, that works pretty well. I mean, I'm sure there are other people who do it have another style to do it. I'm sure it's also possibly more with documentary style, but for me, it works very well,
Yeah. Well, it's funny you call yourself a dictator. And I was like, this is the dictator I need in my life.
I never thought of that. I know. Cut this out. No, I mean, well, control. Yeah, I mean, I love to control is not control, but I love to create scenes. Yeah. And I always, as a child, I always stopped, like, took not screenshot, I had no phone, but I always wanted to do movies. And I decided, like, oh, this screen I love so much, it was always about the screen. And, I feel that, so I would say it's like, right now it's 30% remote and 70% in-person shoots.
Okay.
And I wouldn't, and I take everything always. I just never, I want to do everything and all the time and every day. But it's opening up, of course, a lot. I did maybe 30 remote shoots or something like that. I didn't count paid, unpaid, whatever fields I want to do this morning. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh, I need to shoot. I mean, fantastic, because you just think about who could I, and then a call, and then it happens,
Yeah.
So alone, this possibility that we don't have to go out and find a subject this day, and we can just say, I want to shoot today. Yeah, let's do it,
Yeah. Has your process always been like that for you, in terms of like having, like, feeling really compelled, a really like strong urge, and then you just run with it?
Yeah.
Or, okay, like,
oh,
since you were little?
Say the R. What is the R?
Or is it something that you've learned to chase? Like,
How do you mean that?
Because I think you strike me as someone who's very confident, and you have a very clear vision as to what you want, like, in what you're creating.
Yeah.
So has that urge, like that knowledge of what you want to see or what you want to create, have you always had that, or is it something you've had to develop?
I think it's developing. I do think that I had always the drive to try something. I'm a huge egoist, and which is helpful, because I remember in the beginning, like 5 years ago, where I started in San Francisco, I of course had clients who didn't align with me. They chose me because I was cheap, like everybody else is starting like this way, right? They chose you, but then I knew they might be not my people, but I still photographed them because I needed money and I wanted to start doing my stuff. But I always added my extra time and my vision on the end. For example, if I was too shy to ask in their time, I said, okay, your time's over, but I have something in mind. I saw, this is inspiring me, or look at this corner, or look, I brought my clothes. I need this. I need to inspire myself. Yeah. And I think that it's possible to find inspiration in every shoot. If the people, sometimes, of course, in the beginning, you feel shy about them because you want to please them, and you do, and then check, and then you go in your own direction, right? And tell them, hey, let's try something artsy or something. Give them your enthusiasm. And then they say, yeah, why not? Because they don't have to pay it. And then you go more and more, you bring more and more, and I posted always just the stuff that I love. Not always, if you go back 5 years on my Instagram, it's like, I'm not ashamed of it. Look at it, but I see, like, okay, there's a big growing, which is great. Yeah. But what I post now is what I love. Yeah. But no, I would say now, after 5 years, and in Germany they say every business needs 5 years, and it's kind of true. Yeah, it takes some time transition, but sorry, there's no straight answer. I'm talking. What I want to say, no, I think it's building up, but I think the biggest key factor is satisfying yourself. Even, sometimes just need the one picture, and you go out of the shoot, 90% is like, check, it's cool, they love it, I'm happy, but the one you live for, right? This is where you go.
Yeah. Do you think that is something that kind of turns people away? Because working commercially, especially doing portraits and family sessions, where you feel like you're working for the client, where you don't necessarily love every photo you're making, and then you make one for yourself. I still see a lot of my students feeling like, well, I have to show the stuff that I made for my client and not the stuff that I made for me. So do you think that is something, maybe not, do you think?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like, how do you get past that block?
I get it. I completely understand the question. I would say my Instagram, I tell my people though, I say my Instagram is my playground, really like completely aligned with what I want to see. My website is a bit more mainstream, but I'm cutting out pictures. It's all a flow, yeah. I don't think there is a right or wrong answer. Let me try to nail it down a bit better. I think they are in the process, yeah. But in the long run, it's not sustainable to just do what they want. And I never checked what my clients like on pictures. I never see their favorites. I ask if I love a client, I know we are aligned. Then I say, what's your favorite? But otherwise, I try not to be influenced by it. I just, I mean, students get a little braver and braver and braver and braver. It has to feel right for the person. You cannot force force us, but it's a little bit braver today, and of course you think like, okay, if I post a photograph which I know people will like a lot because there's the Golden Gate Bridge, and it might bring me more clients, but that's not the way I want to go. Okay? Yeah. So I have my clients now. I'm 95% aligned with my client, with you. I know we're the same wavelength. People say whatever you want, Didi. And in my shoots, there are like also a lot of cuddle pictures, which I don't mind at all. But if you get out of the shoot like 5 pictures where you're like, oh my God, then it's good. And I would not. I set boundaries. I wouldn't do a couple on a hey, right, or there's some stuff that I don't do. People ask me, you want to go on the playground? No, I'm not shooting playgrounds and stuff. It's just there is definitely stuff where I say no. But what I want to say, it's a long process and be kind and just. But I think keeping the fun for yourself is the most important thing in the world. And it can work because it works for me. I have clients, more and more clients, and it gets easier and easier and easier.
Would you say that just by taking those brave steps, that is what's gotten you to be able to have 90%, 95% aligned clients, right? Like by trusting yourself, right?
Yeah. By creating the world you want to see. Okay. I'm like Pippi Longstockings. I'm just like, I have this film, Goonies, and Stand By Me, and all these movies going on in my head. And sometimes I see somebody and I get inspired by it, and then it goes this way or goes this way. But such a long.
You said create the world that you want to see.
See, I can concentrate 2 minutes and then create slowly the way you want to see, because then the people will come to you which are aligned with your vision.
Now, if you talk to Didi,
and even if not, I mean, there are people who have different tastes than I have or something like that. It doesn't matter, but then I have to find inspiration for myself somewhere.
Have you always known that you have to?
No, in Germany I had a studio for 10 years. I was like already modern, like with a white background, everything was light and stuff, but it wasn't, I couldn't feel it, and I was not connected to photography. I moved to San Francisco 11 years ago after a huge breakup, and that made me somehow brave because I didn't have anything to lose. I felt like I had to learn English, and I went to English school, and then I started, and in the beginning I was like, okay, now I'm cool. My website's out. Everybody come to me, but it's not happening like that. It's a lot of work, networking. I love all that. I'm extrovert. I love networking. I love Instagram. It's the best thing in the world that ever happened to me. Meeting so many cool people, just having fun with it. Yeah, I really do think we shouldn't do stuff that we don't want to do, because we are so fortunate to be our own boss.
Yeah, but it sounds like you spent some time doing what you didn't want to do.
I would say, I started here 5 years ago, and since then, it's building up. It's like, you create your,
But when you were in Germany in the studio,
I did studio, but it was like it was okay, but it wasn't the stuff I was proud of, And then I come to San Francisco. I didn't shoot for a long time, and everything was new, and I had to find myself and my voice and whatever. And then I bought the one lens, which was my game changer. I have just one lens, a 35 millimeter, one lens camera, and that changed everything to me. And then
how did it do that?
I had to overcome the language, and I had yeah, and then I was lucky to have in San Francisco, there's a huge group, a moms group, which where you can post every Monday and has 20,000 people in there. And so I believe in work, and I believe in consistency in terms of showing up and showing up and showing up, even, and thinking about, oh, they might be bored by me. Who cares? Showing up and showing up and showing up and showing up. Over and over again. Yeah.
What group was that?
It's like Main Street Mamas, one group, which is great that they let us post, which I know a lot of groups don't, but maybe it's cool for you to reach out to your local groups, ask them, hey, what about giving local businesses a chance to post every 2 weeks and stuff like that? Maybe start reaching out. Would be great for all of us. We are mothers, we want to, So these groups are very powerful because there are clients for everyone, everywhere, But if you're not getting seen, then, and of course I'm not, of course I'm also like to have likes on Instagram, because that means they show up in, showing up in algorithm, all this stuff.
Yeah. Sounds someone who has a different experience of Instagram than lots of people. And I love that. I said it sounds like you're someone who has a different experience with Instagram than a lot of other folks. You were actually enthused by it.
Yeah, I have. I don't understand this complaining of high niveau all the time. This is a free platform for us. Of course I don't agree on the rules. I am completely for nipples, for naked, and all that. It's just like still opening up so many doors, I don't want to get kicked out. I have to be, definitely not. So in the beginning was 80% Facebook with these moms groups and 20 Instagram, but I try to shift it and to spread out into mentoring, learning, and videos. And so because I had somebody who was bullying me in these moms groups, photographers, and it was very bad, and so I got burned, and it feels terrible.
Okay.
And I really felt very terrible, because even somebody in Texas who hates me just bullied me all the time, and it felt like this is like half a year ago, and I felt very unsafe, because I thought they kicked me out of the group because she said Didi is like doing almost like a pedo, she's like putting this naked on. That was very, very bad, and I felt then censored after, and that feeling censored is the worst feeling ever. So I completely agree. I had to get over it. But that also told me, okay, you have to spread out. If something like cuts you off at some point, you cannot depend on just one thing,
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
and
I do think it's important to important to feel what you feel, but then to move on and think about, okay, that teach me this, and I have to, maybe this makes me feel safe, or this,
Yeah.
It is all scary out there, and and it's all scary out there, but there's nothing we have to do,
Yeah, it's right. You're right. And we can choose to look at those situations however we want, right? Like we can look at them as, you could have looked at that as a barrier to like shut you down, and then allow it to completely like destroy you or take away your platform or take the wind out of your sails or whatever you want to call it. But you chose to use that as a stimulator to get you to think about your business differently and diversify and look at other ways of
and it really was one of the hardest, because I don't want to be censored to this rebel, like completely. Somebody tell me I cannot do something, I completely freak. So really was crying, depressed, and angry, and it took me at least 3 months to get over this and to say, okay, I have to play their rules. Now I'm very, very now I told them, I told the group admin that please, because I cannot, what I wanted to tell them is I cannot look in your sick fucking brains. So please go ahead and check my post before you post, because there was a post, and mommy was kissing her baby, her daughter, the daughter was kissing the mother on her mouth, and it was too much already for them.
What?
Yeah, and I couldn't understand it, and I talked with Anastasia, and she said, no, there's this deep American, there's something deep, like, and it's just like one person. The other rest of the group is like fantastic. All my clients come from this group, but one person can completely fuck it up. So but I told them I cannot read your thoughts. I don't see anything bad in anything I post ever. So please go and check before you post. So this way I'm not getting kicked out and stuff. So I had to do compromise. Yeah, it was hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Or did you stay there? Did you remain in there?
Yeah. So every Monday I have still like a little bit, I have still that feeling, but I have to know that 80% of my clients come from there, and without it, I would be lost,
Oh, wow. That's a challenge.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So there was a breastfeeding picture, and then there was another breastfeeding picture, but instead of direct daylight, it was like flash, and flash is like into your face. I cooked on the restroom kind of style, right? Yeah. And which I love, and it was too much for them. It was just too much for one person, because everybody else was like, what are you doing to Didi and stuff? But still, it just like feels like, okay, people censor you just because they're so narrow, and just have to be careful. But yeah, that's how it is. Yeah.
What do you think that says about art in general? That
nothing
one person.
It has nothing about art. It just says about culture and about one person. But it doesn't say anything about art. It says it tells you how narrow people can be, and how judgmental and mean. But then you have all the feelings, and then you move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, art is a dialogue, right? So art is a dialogue between the person creating it, not necessarily even between the person creating it. It creates dialogue. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right. And like we talked yesterday, I'm sorry for interrupting. I'm the worst.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
What I want to say is that, yeah, if you start to get haters, there's something good about my thing. You don't want to have people hate you, but if there's a discussion, then it's working.
Yeah, it is
like
working.
The same with the post you did. There was like brave and great, and I was thinking about, and I did just 2 ratings, but there were so many good points that were so interesting.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Thank you. She's talking about a post that I did about first looks. I said first looks are overrated, and people are having feelings about it, which is like, okay.
It's your opinion, and it's completely fine to have an opinion. Everything has to be always fucking PC and careful, and it was like,
yeah. Do you think art is an opinion? In a similar way?
I'm not an overthinker at all. Honestly, I have no idea. I have no idea about art. I really, it's completely instinct driven in the moment. I'm completely like an animal. I am not a deep thinker. Does that make sense? Sounds terrible.
Well, no, it doesn't. But I think that's what kind of drives people away from just appreciating art, is because we fucking overthink it, right? Like we get in our heads and we try to be clever, and rather than just like following, like, I love this, I love making this, I just need to do it, and just putting, as you say, like all the things you're saying, put in the work, and you dealt with these feelings of being censored, but you kept going forward. You managed to like figure out a way to keep doing, like, staying true to what you want to create, staying true to that instinct, and but not overthinking it, that is such a hard balance, because we can get so in our heads about what we're creating, especially if we've been rejected or judged, or because art is so personal. Like, what we're creating is it comes from, like, I don't, like, whatever force that is driving us to create this stuff, right? But you don't overthink it. Like, you just run with it, right?
I mean, in the moment where I'm shooting, I'm not overthinking. I think we all are completely zoomed in there in the moment. This is the adrenaline, and the doing it is so great, right? It gives me so much joy, and even I love editing, and of course I also am super happy if the picture comes out. It's great, but the whole process filling me up so brutally, I'm not sitting after with the pictures. I am super proud of it, and then move to the next thing. There is like I'm not thinking in the moment like this. Of course, I'm thinking, that's also bullshit here. Whatever I'm saying, I feel bad after. I'm sleeping, and I saw you on Instagram, and I started dreaming about you, but it's all like, it's like a ball that's got thrown. I saw you in your shirt, and I was like, oh, and then I saw you in this scene and this scene. So I think big. And then the shoot, of course, we have to do compromise, and everything is different. But no, this is all the process is starting already before, or in the shoot. So, but I'm completely zoomed in, It's not like, oh, I need to create this because you being naked around your pole means this or this. No, it's just, that I'm not trying to send a message.
Yes. Awesome. Yeah. That's where I was wondering.
But maybe there is a message some underneath. And the message is like, like, okay, we are strong. We are strong, and and the message is maybe I can find my own rock and roll in myself again. And the message is like having, being enthusiasm with together. This is a message, but not in the moment. Like, I want to make her strong. That's not the message. But the message is like being in the moment and go with the flow and feel it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, when we finished, Didi's referring to there. I have like I have an old house with big wooden pillars, and I was hugging the pole. Various situations of me like hugging the pole. I'll put a link to it in the show notes. But the thing that was so cool about working with you, Didi, is that like it felt like I was on this epic trip with just this like unchained energy, and I absolutely trusted it. So I had written a post about feeling freedom and lots of like I'm an overthinker, and I love that you're not. This is why I want to talk about this, because I'm definitely an overthinker, and I can really get in my head about whether or not something has any meaning or whatever. I want everything to have this
in photography gravity. Or in the other life, or in photography,
in everything. Kind of in everything, but definitely in art that I'm creating. For me, it has to come from a place of there has to be a story behind it. Well, there
isn't there? Is there not your story behind it also, which comes in like instinct, right? There is always a story behind it. The story is that I felt that your arm like weird like this or whatever told me something, but I just cannot grab it. But it's there. The story is always there because the story is me, and you in one room with all our stuff going on,
I never thought of it like that before.
Because of course you bring your story in. Your story is all of you, right? If you photograph a wedding and then it reminds you on or something, or so I think there's always a story behind it. Just that I cannot describe it very well. It's just this. It's the it like But where is it coming from? It's so interesting to have all this talk. Definitely,
yeah. Oh, that's very cool.
What are you overthinking then? If you, tell me in the moment. In the moment you're shooting, not right. You're in
the moment I'm shooting, I'm not. Okay. I'm not. Okay. I'm definitely follow instinct. I think it's after is whether or not it has, and I think I always think about whether or not it's enough. It has enough meaning. Like, will this reach people? Will people see what I see? So that's where my overthinking comes
from. Yeah. I get that, and I often get also asked about this culling and stuff, and also there, there's so many things that I am not a fan of. Like, how do I get them comfortable? No, don't. I mean, do in terms of trust and how they see your work and they trust you, but otherwise it's completely okay if you're not 100% comfortable, because meaning you go outside your comfort zone and grows you, right? Yeah. And then also the other thing is that I forgot I wanted to say. Wait 1 second. What did you ask me? Gosh. No, I want. Oh yeah, the culling, or I of course if I deliver also, like the people say always like over deliver, but where does this come from? The stupid word over deliver. It's just that we put ourselves in such a pressure position, because if it feels good to you, then it's good. They pick. If you deliver 100 pictures and they pick their 20 and they look different than yours, everybody's going to be happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So maybe the one that means something to you is not meaning the same to them. How could it mean the same? They don't have totally your same. Right. They couldn't have. They can have your soul and your memory. You don't have them.
Yeah. No. Well, this explains everything.
No, I know now. I'm doing talk.
No, it's perfect.
It's just like it can't be the same. It's impossible.
Yeah. Do you, so that idea of, because so much of us worry about making people comfortable. They have to be comfortable. They have to be, but that is something that you totally embrace, right?
I mean, it's interesting because I photographed you. Did you feel comfortable? I would say yes.
Totally.
And maybe there are moments where like, and then people start performing and say, well, shut the fuck up, close your eyes, take a nap. I send so that's 1,000 times to you. I make them comfortable with the information I give. I'm not a small talker. I can't. I have to concentrate, but I don't think a small talk is needed to make somebody confident. I think sitting with the quietness and the feel that comes to it is like hard, and we're used to always make everyone confident, right, and comfortable and stuff. Yeah. But maybe the setting the expectations to this is going to be an effort. Whatever, you know, there might be a situation where we both like it's completely okay to feel this way, you know. But I hope I made you confident in terms of you could trust me. I felt that you trusted me. Yeah, interesting to hear your side of it, you know, because you are my
like we have this aversion to feeling discomfort. I love how you said that, like that it's okay to feel that. It's okay to feel uncomfortable because oftentimes, and same thing with like sadness and even like grief and stuff, people don't want to feel that stuff, but so we avoid it and we post pretty pictures and everybody's smiling and it's always sunny and things are perfect and they're always at like the upper angle so that we don't have double chins and all of that bullshit, right? And so I think your work really pushes into like it's inviting us to be uncomfortable, but all like at the same time it is very beautiful. It is so beautiful. And I think part of that is because of how like you realize that it is okay to be uncomfortable when I look at this or when I feel this or when I do this. And that resolution of being like seeing like what the outcome is, knowing that it was uncomfortable and it turned out like this is such a gift that you can give to your clients.
And you know, I don't want to also say it's not uncomfortable, but what I want to say is like giving up control is something great, right? We all have control so many things, and I feel like that's what I hear often. Like we love the leading and the directing because we can, and so I do think that I give the woman most of the time. I'm not good with making husbands comfortable, but that's why they are my legs now and they love it. Like, do you want to be the shoot? No, cool, be my legs. You know, need somebody who carrying me around. So no, I'm not good with husband very well, but they like the fact that they are not 2 hours in a photo shoot or something. I think giving the woman or the mother, the woman, the room where they don't have to control, where you just, and that's hard because you're there, the kids come out, and so this is my connection always to one person where I say, no, please, like, close your eyes, take a breath, kids are safe, but to get to the point, same with me with the kids, to get to the point where you're like, okay, I can give up control and just be. Right? And this is
so freeing.
That's not the only way to photograph, or this is just the way I can talk about my experience.
Yeah, absolutely. But that really is that is totally, you're totally right. It's that freedom of just being like, I'm in this woman's hands, and it'll be, you know.
And you know, it's harder through remote. It's harder, but remote, it doesn't. It will. I think everyone who is doing it will be taught by it something. You know, some people want to learn more to direct. Other people want. You know, it is like it's challenging, definitely, because you have to talk. You have to talk to your legs constantly. The legs, you know, the person is holding like left, right, zoom out, zoom in. So it's that. But I mean, there are other ways to do it. Just the way I do it, like talking, right?
What so just for people who are listening, when Didi's saying legs, what you do is you have someone hold the camera. That's who you're referring to as your legs. And you're
later on in the beginning, I'm sorry, in the beginning, I did also one person and did it on tripod. It's just frustrating because you see something coming in and you want to run there and you can't. It's giving you so much gratitude for legs and you know what you can do. So because it's like frustrating, but also like I can push through that. If you know, I think if you did a remote and it works out, and every person should be like, oh, this is easy.
How is your shooting? Okay, so first question that came up out of that, what was the hardest thing that remote shooting taught you? Was it like logistic, or was it more like your approach or your vision or whatever?
The hardest thing, I mean, it's definitely more work than an in-person shoot. Even, you know, the good thing is we don't have to drive there, but it's like you're on, and then you're on, and then you have to deliver. You don't have to deliver, but the pressure to yourself. Can I make it work? Do I find the light? Where's the light coming from? Walking the house, helping with the clothes, getting knocked over by kids, tantrums, etc. You know, the hardest thing is for me to give up control, because I'm control freak. So meaning I have to trust an app with, you know, and it worked always out. I have every shoot worked out. One I lost somehow a bit because Android and iPhone didn't work so well with the Class app. Then it's better to use Shutter. But otherwise, it like sometimes it shows like you took 200, but in the gallery it shows like 80s. So not having it all completely lined up, because they're still working on the app. Again, 95% work out, but it's still like, until I have it's the connection to stay. You know, I don't depend on the connection in terms of the quality of the picture, but with what I see. You know, somebody called me to do a wedding. I said no. So two things I wouldn't do yet: the wedding and birth. Because
why not birth? Because there's no control.
Well, because you know, you could have no internet connection. You know, it can be. We have remote, you know, you don't depend on what you take, but still, whatever I see, I can just see. If for example, you say I want to be in the jungle and there's no internet connection, I can't see you and I have to shoot blind. So sometimes I shoot half blind. I see 50%, but I trust my feel. Okay, where's the sun coming from? From there. That might be cool. Or I just, you know,
yeah.
So there is like it is pretty good and fantastic, the app, but still there's, you know, things to improve.
Yeah. Are they a sponsor for you? Please tell me that you've got them to sponsor you.
No, I should. Sponsor me, that meaning sponsor in terms of money? No, money not. No. They gave me some more space that I can use, and I stick with them because I like their support. I write them, hey, I need your help, and they try to figure it out. I think that's very nice. My husband says the same. They have to do, and they, you know, they share some pictures. And I told them, can you feature me in 2 weeks if I bring, because I want to bring a video out. Watch me work video, not a mentoring, and watch me work video, and I hope they feature that. So I feel pretty much treated well.
Yeah. Are you good with the balance between in person and remote, or do you feel like you're gonna like totally go remote?
Oh no, and I need the balance. I think it's really like, it's super cool, but also taxing is the wrong word, but it's really like
a lot of energy.
Hardcore exhausting in terms of the mental load. Okay, because first 20 minutes are the most essential for me. Walking the house, find inspiration, finding clothes or no clothes, and we don't have to. I don't need to have special clothes or something like that. It's just like I try to inspire myself, you know. And so this is like on me, and then the pressure goes. The more I shoot, the less pressure, and, you know. It's more my own pressure to make it work, right? So after 2 hours, 2.5, it's like energy's gone. I don't know if I could do every day one. No, I don't think so.
No.
If I have two times a week, it's fair enough. But imagine all of us, if we would have at least 2 of the months, that would already fill our pocket more, right? And I think every photographer has clients who love them, and then they move, and, you know. But it needs from all of us marketing and getting it out there and showing people, and normal people. I mean, not normal people, but people who are not into creative work, that it can be the same quality, you know, and stuff like that. To get there, it just needs time. I would give it the same time like in other business, 3 to 5 years, you know.
Are you so you're mentoring people like how to remote shoot specifically, or just in general?
I do in general, but the last mentoring, we're always remote shoots. People really want to learn, and they say, okay, and I'm mentoring. We start with coffee and talk about everything, and then we hop on a practice shoot where I tell them, hey, we run hopefully in every trouble we can run into. I think it helps a lot of people to get in there, you know. I think so mentoring video coming out soon in 2-3 weeks, and watch me work video, not a mentoring on the app, but I hope you can get a lot out of it. It's like, you see hard work and going through and sticking with ideas, sticking with it. I think the best thing you learn is to stick maybe a little bit harder with something. Even if it's not there right now. It's like painting a picture and waiting until it's there. Like, oh, this is
That is an excellent point to end on, Didi.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you
I
so
know,
much
I'm
for
sorry I
being
was
here.
talking so much and it's all over the place and like.
No, it's perfect. It's perfect. Yeah. I really, really appreciate you and what you're doing. Like, it's honestly, it's so emboldening, and it's like, it's inspiring, it's motivating, and it's also just really fucking cool. So
thank you so much.
Thank you for being you. Thank you for
thank you for
with
having me. Thank you so much. We have bye bye.
Bye, friend.
Bye.